Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, Mike.
How are you this week?
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Good. So, I found an old friend, and I thought I'd get him to join us for this morning. So,
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you.
I know you never will.
I never will. So, I'm just going to admit him into the room. If you wait there. Here he comes. He's sideways.
Morning.
It's sideways.
You've got sideways.
Paul, how are you? What's going on?
You're sideways on.
What have you done?
I've done nothing. You might have to move your camera back and forth.
I didn't touch it. I'll move it now. I haven't touched it.
Paul Zerdin.
Paul Zerdin.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good.
How's that?
That's good.
That's good.
There we go. How are you, Wayne?
All right, Paul. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's lovely to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, but you too.
I'm actually, I have to say, this whole period of I hate the word lockdown. It's so depressing, but this whole period has actually been a really creative time.
Really?
And I'm writing a new show, which I'm touring, fingers crossed, this autumn. And it's probably going to be my biggest tour to date. And I've been writing the show since the end of last year. And I write with a couple of people. And we're just working on, I come up with really stupid ideas and I get them to go away and write routines, and then we bounce it back and forwards, and you know how it is when it's a work in progress, isn't it?
How does the touring work with the social distancing?
It's it seems to. Did you say about distancing on the tour?
Yeah. He said, how does social distancing work on the tour?
Well, I'm hoping that we won't have to socially distance on the tour by then.
With the audience, I mean.
I'm hoping that we don't have to by then, because it's not till middle of September I start. But who knows? Maybe we will have to. I don't know. I'm hoping that we won't. I was very lucky though last year when it all, when this whole thing started. I was booked to do Butlins for the summer, and I've worked for Butlins on and off over the years. And they were determined to make it work. And they moved from middle of July to the end of August. They moved all the gigs outside. They built this amazing stage, outdoor stage with big screens on either side. And they used all the outside space that they had free and turned it into these outdoor gigs. And they had like benches, like picnic benches, tables and benches, and scattered around wherever it was, the car park, so they could hold up to like 1,000 people at a time. And we used to do shows, and I used to do 3 shows a day on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and it worked. It worked a treat, and I didn't mind. I said, what happens if it rains? And he said, well, they're going to get wet, and they'll either go or they'll stay. But most people, when it rained, and it didn't rain that often actually, surprisingly enough, especially in Skegness. It didn't rain very much, and most people stayed. And if the rain was blowing into the stage, I just moved back a bit. I moved a bit more upstage, just to make sure the puppets didn't get soggy. And it worked a treat. So I was really very fortunate to be working for nearly 3 months last summer, right up until the end of September. And then I went and did some gigs for the Octagon Theatre in Yeovil. They were doing some social distance gigs. And then I went and did a week at the Horseshoe in Blackpool.
All right. Have you done any gigs with a virtual audience?
With a what? Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Virtual audience. Have you done?
I have done some virtual gigs, and funnily enough, I did one just before Christmas, and I'll be honest, I hate them.
They're cold. They're so cold, aren't they?
Yeah, I can do them in a way because. In a way, I think it might be slightly easier for me because I've got someone to talk to. I'm not just doing straight stand-up, and I've got someone to have a conversation with. And some of the Zoom gigs that I've done, the audience have been on mute, so you get no reaction whatsoever. And in fact, some of the gigs I did, I didn't even see the audience until I finished my spot, and then I did a Q&A afterwards, and that's when they opened up everyone's audio, and so I could hear and answer questions and things. And that bit's fine. Doing the spot to camera, I get it was all right. It was like doing an audition, really, like a self-tape. But I can do it, and I don't particularly enjoy them, but it's the way it is at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you?
This is a question I ask every guest, and it's how did you meet Wayne? How did you get together? What was the story?
I knew Paul from. I took my interest in Paul when Paul was doing the voice routine with masks.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were doing it, but you took it to another level.
Well,
especially with the remote.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm very proud of that, and you know, I mean, I have to say that you know, watching you, I remember I was watching I think it was your third series on ITV, and I was in the dressing room with grot bags on tour with Norman Wisdom, and I think I was at the Weymouth Pavilion, and I was somewhere anyway on tour, and I remember watching your series, and I'd been such a fan, and I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, you know I'm a fan, but I was such a fan, and I remember seeing you when I was a close-up magician. Before I was properly doing the vent, I was learning the vent. I must have been about 16 or 17, and I was doing close-up at a corporate gig, and you were the cabaret. And it was in a marquee somewhere in Surrey. It was a big old posh do. And I remember doing the close-up gig, and I found out that you were the cabaret, and I thought, oh my God, I've got to stay for this. So I stayed and watched, and you did whatever your set, right? It was an hour and 20, whatever you did, you absolutely blew them away. And I remember thinking, and that was an absolute, and this is hand on heart, that was a major turning point in my career and thinking, because I just thought, Jesus Christ, I want an act as strong as that. It was so shit hot. I was like, oh my God, that's what I want. And I remember seeing you obviously doing the voice routine, you know, with that classic thing with Frank and Harry on the Royal. And I remember seeing you doing versions of it on your own show, and being so inspired by that. And I borrowed your idea of like going into the audience when I was on a cruise ship in Scandinavia. I did a similar thing. I'd go into the audience and I'd get someone to pick a card and I'd answer for them like you used to. And, you know, I was hugely inspired by that. And then I had seen somebody selling these masks at the ventriloquist convention in America. And I thought, oh, that looks good. But it was just a little piece of rubber you put over like half a mask, but that went over the ears and had a little just string that pulled the mouth down. I thought that's a brilliant idea, but someone should make something proper. So I went away and had something specially made with a better lever and cable, and it became quite a big part of my act. And then years later I came up with the idea of having the animatronic and had these tiny little mini controllers made so that I've got them in my hand and I can leave them on their own. And I go and sit in the audience and I'm still voicing a man and a woman couple on stage and get them to, you know, just, you know, make complete asses of themselves on stage for like, I can get up to like 15 minutes out of it.
Brilliant.
And so that was all
inspired
by you.
I remember you doing it on the biggest show in the world, America's
Got Talent.
Got Talent, which you won. Which you won. It was great.
Thank you. And I I mean, I was originally going to do the man and the woman on Howie Mandel and Mel B, and then we didn't have enough time to do both of them, so it ended up just being with Howie. But I thought, wouldn't it be fun to sit behind the judging panel and swap places, and I really enjoyed that. And I looked into it. No one had ever done that before, so I was quite pleased with the outcome of that. It just freed it up with having the radio control. You can sort of, you know, do anything. It's almost like being a hypnotist, getting people to do those silly things.
How was America's Got Talent?
I have to say it was an amazing experience, and it was something I just thought, I'm going to have a go at this. If it doesn't work out, I'm in a different country. Doesn't matter. I've still got a good career at home, and I thought I might as well just, you know, have a go. And I was received so well, and I was made to feel so, you know, comfortable, and I loved every second of it. I liked all the filming. Once you got to the live shows, we were in Radio City Music Hall for the live shows.
So you're obviously in lockdown at the moment, and you're writing this new new show. Is that going to be something that, I mean, I remember talking to you once. You was working on a TV series. Is there anything happening with that?
Well, I did a pilot for ITV year before last for my street vent show, and they liked it, but it wasn't quite right for the slot. And you know, it's very complicated now trying to get a TV show off the ground.
Sure.
I still believe it's something that would sit very comfortably for a family slot on telly. So it's just been re-edited and it's now being pitched to someone else. And I'm still plugging away and trying to get it off the ground. Really, I'm not holding my breath, but it's something I know. No one's done it with ventriloquism. No one's done the street vent thing, and I think it can really work well.
I mean, when you used to do a bit on what TV show was it where you used to go and pretend that there's a baby crying?
I did a series called Undercover Magic, which was for Sky quite some years ago, and I was like,
some of that was the best part of the show. Was you standing there with a blanket in your hand and going,
yeah. I enjoyed doing it.
Stuff.
Sorry, Mike, say again.
It was belly laugh stuff, you know.
Thank you.
Belly laughs.
Yeah, I think it was a bit refreshing as well, because it was all mainly it was a magic show, but this was still within that world, but just using my voice talents to prank people. I think it was a sort of breath of fresh air, and I think it could have a life of its own. So that's what I'm still keen to try.
I totally agree, because I think we need different types of comedy. And I mean, I remember the skip, and there's like, oh, let me out, and all that, and it was like you're talking to the person on the street going, is there a child in there? And
you want to try and get them engaged. That's the thing. You want to just sort of draw them in. And one of the things that I learned from the pilot is that even though you have cameras hidden or dotted around, sometimes you don't even need to hide the camera, because what I want in the end, for the end result, for example, one of the things we did was I went and had breakfast in a little cafe and sat outside this cafe with my old man character Albert. Now he's sitting on the chair opposite me, and so he's not on my arm. He's inanimate at this point, the other side of the table. But I've got the mini remote for him,
right?
And so I wanted to scare the shit out of the waitress when she looks at me and there's a puppet there, just inanimate, and she thinks, okay, there's a grown man here with a doll sitting on the other chair. All right, I'll go along with this, whatever. You couldn't see the cameras at this point, and they were hidden. And then I was ordering my breakfast, and then I said, and what do you want? And he wakes up and goes, well, I'll have a bacon sandwich, please, or whatever it was. And so and scared the shit out of her, because suddenly the thing is, come alive on its own.
That's brilliant.
And then the thing I wanted to do was to get her to interact with him and actually have a conversation. And she did have a conversation.
That's fantastic. So it invokes a belly laugh just to even visualize that kind of scenario.
Yeah, it's silly.
And I think, with people with lockdown and stuff like this is the stuff we want to see now on entertainment.
Yeah, it's different. I think it's new, it's original, and yet it's still using techniques that have been around for a long time. It's just putting them into those outdoor on the street situations. And there's so many ideas. So I'm still hopeful. Well, I have to say, it's absolutely lovely to see you, and I haven't seen you for ages. I can come down and see you soon.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll get together. We'll eat pizza and drink beer.
Absolutely, that would be great. And I hope you get the vaccination all sorted. And you've got to stay safe and blah 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 and all that bollocks. Yeah. And I very much look forward to seeing you soon. But this has been an absolute joy. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks for joining us. And take care, buddy, and stay safe. Yeah.
Thank you, and to you. Lots of love.
Thank you so much for joining us this week for Wayne and Mike's Coffee Morning. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on these videos. We'll be back next week for another episode. If in the meantime you have a question for Wayne, please leave it in the comment section, and I will endeavour to make sure that I get Wayne to answer it for you. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.